Stephanie Johnson from the Dallas Metroplex. Win over Tanya Ramimpur. 222-181, climbing the ladder. Looking for a PWBA title. Watch live early round coverage of all PWBA events, plus live and on-demand coverage of all the best professional bowling action on Extra Frame. Visit www.extraframe.tv for more info or to subscribe today. And Kelly, tour is back for a second year after the hiatus, and you are going all over the country, aren't you guys?
Yes, we started on the West Coast, made our way towards the Midwest. We have the Detroit Open Finals coming to you right now. Then we're going to make our way to the East Coast in Rochester, Lexington, all the way down to Florida, Houston, Texas for the Lucy Doubles, and finishing off in Addison, Illinois for the U.S. Open.
Great schedule ahead. The action for you on CBS Sports Network. Lee Jameson from Malaysia. Great start. Hammers through the 1-3 pocket with velocity.
Team Malaysia, Lee Jane. Very aggressive, 15-16 at the arrows. Dale said keep it just in the inside of that tracer mark. Great opening first shot. We saw her earlier this year in the Queen's performance.
Stephanie. Her second match, looking for help on the 7, a nudge, but it stands. Single pin conversion coming up for her.
Yeah, Stephanie was playing with a different bowling ball in that last game for some information. She made another ball change. Hand gets just a little bit out inside of the ball. Doesn't have enough energy to get back. 7 pin. Hard plastic ball straight at the spare.
How much experimentation will you do, Kelly, in a situation like that?
It depends on how much of the match, if I'm ahead, if I'm really trying to find something else, if I'll give up a frame to get the next 3 or 4. But it has to be done. Once you get to the show, Dave, you really can't miss, because everyone's going to be at the top of their game. You know, very seldom do we see a lot of blowout matches. Usually they're close. But Stephanie's sticking with the same ball now in the left lane after the first match.
Stephanie, Rookie of the Year, PWBA Tour last year. Husband Chris, former PBA Rookie of the Year.
Bowling is in the family.
That's pretty rare, isn't it? And son Levi, watching at home. In the Dallas area and watching mom cross through all 10, back into the pit. Great shot.
Yeah, Stephanie is so aggressive. She's got great ball speed. Again, keeps her angles right in front of her, nice tight lines. Look at the break point down here. She's right about almost 40 feet, right inside 12-13.
Can Sin respond? Not this time, but does get a pretty good count out of the shot that missed the pocket. 2 pin up.
Yeah, bounces back. Catches a lucky break there.
We talked about her making the Queen's TV Finals in Vegas. She lost the opening match, started with 5 straight strikes, an incredible beginning. Then a pair of splits, costly in a 242-224 loss to Birgit Pöppler of Germany.
Part of Team Malaysia. She's so excited to be over here. So we look at her approach. 5 steps, slides left foot forward. Ball gets in the swing fast, heel toe. Shorter 3rd step. But here's this power step as it crosses over. Her shoulders are open right there. Has that power step push off, longer slide. And she maintained that wrist position all the way through her delivery.
All 10 down, great shot. Malaysian national team member of the Malaysian 10-pin Bowling Congress, the NTBC. And one of 8 have been sent by that country to compete on tour. Backed by the National Sports Council. It's great support from their country.
Yeah, Malaysia, their federation supports a lot of their players. They start them at a young age, probably around the age of 8, 10, or 12, building their youth development program so that they all can be adult competitors on the national team. Great support from the federation.
Back to Johnson. Good looking shot, 10-pin stands. Stephanie works at Plano Super Bowl in the Dallas area alongside husband Chris. She wanted to give a shout out to Jamie Brooks, gave her that opportunity to balance her work there and competing full-time on tour. That's a busy life for the Johnsons.
Chasing around Levi and holding a full-time job and bowling on the ladies tour.
It's impressive. There's a 10 for Stephanie.
Many of the ladies out here on the tour also have a full-time job. It's great that the schedule allows them to come in on a Thursday night, catch the practice session, or on Friday morning, the hour practice session, bowl the full weekend, and head back to that Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday 9 to 5 job. The biggest key word is balance, not only at the foul line, but balancing life's challenges as they come forward.
Fourth frame, all square. And working on the spare. Stephanie strikes. Second time of the match.
Plants that slide foot. Right around the third and fourth arrow. 40 feet is right here. Ball starts to tip up. Watch the little white pin on the bowling ball. So it's more sideways as it gets taller and taller as it gets to that roll face. Now Jane on the right lane.
Needs a response and gets one. Some Team Malaysia support here for Jane Sin.
Yeah, both girls seem to have the left lane down pretty solid. So right lane could be a little bit tricky at times. Little hang spot down the lane. But for 24 games, a 227 average, 4-2 in match play. High scoring pattern that we saw for the Detroit Open. Working on a double. It's got to get there.
It does, just in time. Turkey for Sin in frames 3, 4, and 5.
I like Jane's approach. She starts the ball before she even starts the movement of her feet. Gets a little wide right. Shaker strike. Thank you. 10 straight back. A little shaker strike there for the X on the board.
Johnson down 10. Can respond here. Down 20 to be down 10 with a strike. Fifth frame. Not a bad shot again. 10-pin stands.
Ringing 10-pin.
Seen a few of those, haven't we?
Yeah, you know, again, Stephanie, she's very aggressive and firm with the ball, so she creates a lot of ball speed with a long pattern, 44 feet in length, and a lot of volume, 30 feet. So as that white pin on the ball starts to migrate, that 6-pin just goes horizontal. Doesn't bounce off the sideboard, leaves a 10-pin.
There's the 10. Stephanie told us pre-match, Kelly, about not a lot of changes in her game except opening up angles. What do you mean by that?
Well, when the girls get further deep inside the lane, somewhere past third arrow, fourth arrow, they have to go more left to right. Opening up their angles means they have to start the ball further inside and get the ball down the lane to the right in order for it to come back to the pocket. So she's been working on slowing down her ball speed a little bit, creating a little bit more rotation with her hand, and again, increasing her performance when it comes to open up the angles playing left to right.
Look out. It's high. It's the big 4.
Such a bad break right there.
The match can change so quickly. And now the nearly impossible to make big 4 can be done. It's difficult. Gets through the 4. The 4 stands, nearly had it. A really good effort for Stephanie Johnson. Lee Jane Sin from Malaysia in the driver's seat. She has a big lead now. Strikes third, fourth, and fifth frames of Turkey. These are in great shape. Some more info on the PWBA Greater Detroit Open, Kent, Michigan. 112 entries, average of cash just over 211. And Kelly did not bowl in this event because of an injured ankle. I know he wanted to compete.
I did, but unfortunately I knew I wasn't going to be 100%. Missy Parkin, though, 5th position finishing from Laguna Hills, California, making her presence. But we have Diane and Mark Voigt, proprietors at Super Bowl Lanes in Canton, Michigan. Second time hosting a Professional Women's Bowling Association event.
Great to see them here. Thanks to both of them and their great staff. All their assistants. Looking for the 4-bagger. Out of commercial break, that can be the big challenge. 6th frame, only a 6-pin count.
Yeah, she had a shaker strike on the right lane this last time. Doesn't quite get the rotation on the hand from the last time, right around board 9, a little outside of the break point where it's been consistent for the other girls in the matches. But she leaves the bucket, 2-4-5-8.
Covers nicely. The bucket can be a challenge. Good bounce back from missing the pocket. Still in great shape in this match, now into the second half.
Yeah, 31-pin lead for Jane. Her swing is unique too, Dave. If you watch her swing, it kind of wraps around her and tucks behind her, but she does it the same way every single time. So it's not right, it's not wrong, it's Jane's swing. Let's see if we can see it in this approach. Starts it. Right there. Strike in the 7th frame for Jane. Extends her lead over Stephanie Johnson. Let's look at this swing though. Again, so it comes, tucks behind, then her hand gets back around at the bottom of the swing. The ball paralyzes the 5-pin as it's the last to fall.
Last season's Rookie of the Year needs to respond and needs to do it right now. Off the open 7th frame. Can she get the roll started? There's a strike. Heading in the right direction.
Back to the replay of Stephanie. Sliding 26 at the foul line, 18 at the arrows. White pin on the ball again. Deflects slightly, but wow. X marks the spot. 5 for 7 for Jane, 3 for 7 Stephanie. 1 open for Stephanie Johnson with that big 4.
That looks familiar. Got the bucket again.
Well, she went high last time on this lane. Maybe a bigger move with her feet and her target. Ball doesn't quite get there. 2-4-5-8.
Jane Sin was able to convert hers. Let's see if Stephanie can follow suit. Originally from the Miami area. The South Florida USBC Hall of Fame. Does cover nicely. All-American at UCF in Orlando.
Textbook conversion. Plastic ball head on that 2-pin. Goes straight back into the 5, kicks out the 2-8.
Eighth frame works on a strike. 41-pin lead with another, but that's high. A big 4 up for the second. 4-7 standing for Lee Jane Sin.
So watch Jane swing here. This is what I mean. Slides that left foot and takes a big crossover step with the right. When she crosses over, see how the swing comes back behind her head? Usually it's going to be directly behind it at the top of the swing. She's going to bump it back out, and then her hand's going to rotate around it at the bottom of the swing. But she does it the same way every single time.
Four-7 stays clean. That's the most important thing. The latter frames of the match, 31-pin lead heading into the foundation frame. Rocio Restrepo from Colombia will take on the winner of this match, another rising international star. Our top seed waits in the wings.
Solid.
Feeling it.
Anytime you hear that crispness, that sound, oh, that's the most prettiest sound you can hear as a bowler. 5-step approach again. Keeps it on target. Oh, the crispness of that strike. It's a beautiful sound.
Yeah, it sure is when
I
you're
do,
bowling,
I love
right?
it. Yep.
Just explodes right through that 1-3 pocket, all 10 back. Stephanie Johnson. Desperate times. 9th frame. Gonna have to put a lot of strikes up on the board and hope to get some help.
Yeah, Jane's max score, she can shoot 236. Stephanie can only shoot 205. Moves a little bit deeper inside that right lane. Splits the 8-9. She's getting away from that trouble spot, that little hang down the lane to the right side. Girls are going to parallel move inward left and still hit the 1-3.
Keeping things a little interesting here. Cuts the lead at 21 pins for Sin into the 10th frame. How many pins she can rack up here is the big question.
Yeah, again, max score for Stephanie, 205. If she strikes out here, she'd force Jane to do something in the 10th frame, mark in the 10th, get more than 9. Needs it.
Just the 4 stands. Didn't get it.
Steffi's going to shoot this Baron for a 194 match. Jane will move on and advance that final match to face Rocio Restrepo in the finals.
194 for Stephanie Johnson. 5 pins, that's all Lee Jane Sin needs to advance. Take on the top seed. Rocio is waiting. Keep it on the lane. Lee Jane's all good. Which she does, and she is. 10 down and a victory. Lee Jane Sin, all international final. She'll take on Rocio Restrepo from Colombia. A championship, prize money, and a trophy on the line. Lee Jane Sin, 225-194 winner over Stephanie Johnson for the Dallas Metroplex, and she advances on to take on Rocio Restrepo in the championship. Are you right-eyed or left-eyed? Understanding which of your eyes is dominant can improve your hand-eye coordination and possibly improve your game. In today's episode of USBC Bowling Academy, Rod Ross and Lou Marquez teach you how to understand the difference.
Now, there's several ways that you can find out their eye dominance, right in the stance, and look and find out what their dominant eye. And I think a lot of players out there don't know whether they're right eye or left eye dominant.
And that's true, and we've seen from countless videos, that a certain person is uniquely either more left eye dominant or right eye dominant. And then when you ask them, when they're looking at their target, what are you looking at? And obviously they may miss in or out depending on their eye dominance. We'll find that it can be a considerable number, any range from within 1 board to as much as 8.
So let's take a look at how we can measure to see what your eye dominance and how it affects your stance.
So we're now at our next player, Sasha, and we're going to look at eye dominance. And we're going to look specifically at her typical eye dominance and determine whether it's left eye dominant or right eye dominant. So Sasha, What I want you to do at this little test that we're going to perform on you is create a circle with your index finger and your thumb. Place it about a foot, foot and a half away from your face. And we want you to look at the number 1 on the masking unit. And with the number 1 enclosed in the center of the circle, what we want you to do is close your left eye and see if the number is actually staying in that center of that circle.
Mm-hmm.
And close your right eye, please. Does it still stay in the circle?
No.
No. Okay, so what we've determined was that we can actually see the dominance of the eye and keeping the focus internally into the circle, looking at the object in front of us. So we determined that Sasha is right eye dominant. And what we're going to now do is make sure that her setup is in alignment with her dominant eye. So what we'll do is check to see if her position in the beginning is adequate for her dominant eye. So right now she's actually more centered, so we're going to get her lined up. We're also going to make sure that her spinal tilt is in the right location, making sure that her dominant eye is over the ball. And that should be a good position for her to start with. With Sasha's alignment now set, what we're going to make sure is making sure that that hand and eye coordination is set. So she'll actually swing the ball, keeping it underneath her dominant eye, and deliver it down the lane to our target.
USBC Bowling Academy provides hundreds of hours of high-quality instructional videos for bowlers of all skill levels. Learn from Team USA and USBC certified goal coaches, as well as other top pros and instructors. Visit USBCBowlingAcademy.com today for more information. We are set for the finalists, Restrepo and Sin. Only one will be a champion of the PWBA Tour. We'll have the championship match for you coming up next on CBS Sports Network.